So now we'll see this problem here. Okay, here we have a binary system, binary communication system. Through this system we are transmitting two symbols, that is symbol 1 and symbol 0. We are transmitting over this system to the receiver. Okay, so the channel occasionally causes errors to occur, so that one shows up at the receiver as a 0 and vice versa. So in this channel we will be getting errors. So occasionally, that too, when you send 1, that will be shown as 0 at the receiver. When you send 0, it will be shown as 1 at the receiver. Okay, so that type of errors we will be getting here. Okay, now what is our problem here is, we have to obtain what is the probability of transmitting the signal correctly, and transmitting the signal, what is the error transmission, correct transmission and error transmission. What is correct transmission? When you transmit 1, you have to receive 1 only. When you transmit 0, you will be receiving 0 only. So then it is called correct transmission. When you transmit 1, we are receiving 0. When you transmit 0, if you are receiving 1, then it is called error transmission. Okay, now here we have the sample space. Because it is a binary system, we are transmitting only two symbols, that is 0 and 1. Okay, so the sample space will have only two elements, that is 0 or 1. Okay, so at the input side, how do we write it? As bi, that is bi is equal to 1 or 1 or 2. Okay, so what is b1 here? The symbol before channel is 1, because you are transmitting 1, no? So at the transmitter, what is that value? Is 1, is nothing but b1. When value is 0, okay, if you are the symbol before the channel is 0, then that is b2. Okay, so these are the two symbols we are using at the input side, b1 and b2. b1 is for 1 and b2 is for 0. And similarly, at the receiver we have two events, that is a1 and a2. Okay, what is a1? a1 is the symbol after the channel at the receiver side. If you are receiving 1, that is a1. If you are receiving 0, that is a2. Okay, so it is given like this. Okay, so at input side you have two symbols, at output side also we have two symbols. Okay, now it is given that what is the probability of sending 1. Okay, what is b1? Is sending 1, no? Probability of sending 0. Probability of sending 1 is 0.6. Probability of sending 0 is b2. 0 is 0.4. These are the given in the problem. And it is also given that the conditional probability, that is the effect of channel on transmitted symbol. Okay, what is this probability of a1 is what? a1 is 1, b1 is 1. Transmitting, what is the probability of receiving 1 when 1 is transmitted? Okay, b1 is already occurred, no? Probability of getting a1 such that b1 is already occurred is given as 0.9. Probability of a2 such that b1 is already occurred as 0.1. Okay, 1 is 1. So probability of receiving 1 when 1 is transmitted is given as 0.9. Probability of receiving 0 when 1 is transmitted is given as 0.1. And similarly, probability of receiving 1 when 0 is transmitted is given as 0.1. Probability of receiving 0 when 0 is transmitted, probability of receiving 0 when 0 is transmitted is given as 0.9. Okay, so this is the figure that shows the complete discussion whatever we have discussed here. So we are transmitting 1 and 0. We are transmitting 1 and 0. At the receiver we are receiving 1 and 0. Okay, now what is here? The probability of receiving 1 when 1 is transmitted is given as 0.9. Probability of receiving 0 when 0 is transmitted is given as 0.9 only. Just now we have discussed, no? Okay, and these values are also discussed. receiving 1 when 0 is transmitted. What is the value? 0.1. Receiving 0 when 1 is transmitted. What is the value? 0.1. These are the given in the problem itself. Okay. So this figure shows the binary transmission channel. What is binary transmission channel? Binary transmission channel will be transmitting only two symbols. Binary means two. Okay, either 1 or 0. Okay, now what is that we have to do? The first step is we have to find out what is probability of A using conditional probability. What is probability of A using condition? What is total probability theorem? Summation n is equal to 1 to n. What is n here? 1 to 2. Okay, probability of A given Bn into probability of Bn. This is the formula for P of A. Okay, now we find out what is probability of A1. So here in the place of A, substitute A1. Now expand this equation for n is equal to 1 to 2. What you get? Probability of A1 given B1 into probability of B1 plus probability of A1 given B2 into probability of B2. Probability of A1 given B1 is given in the problem. It is 0.9. Probability of B1 is also given as 0.6. Probability of A1 given B2 is given as 0.1. Probability of B2 is given as 0.4. Substitute that, find out probability of A1. Probability of A1 we got it as 0.58. Similarly, we find out what is probability of A2. Probability of A2, just replace A with A2 in this equation. Expand this equation for n is equal to 1 to 2 ma. So what you get? Probability of A2 is equal to given by this formula, and the corresponding values are given in the problem. Substitute, then if you get probability of A2 is equal to 0.42. Okay, now we have to find out what is the correct transmission and error transmission. What is correct transmission? What is the probability of receiving? What is B1 ma? B1 is transmitting 1, no? And what is A1? He is receiving. So what is the probability of um, receiving 1 such that 1 is transmitted? Okay, so this is called correct transmission. Okay, so that is probability of B1 given A1. So use Bayes theorem now. What is Bayes theorem? Probability of A1 given B1 into probability of B1 divided by probability of A1. Probability of A1 just now we found. These values are given in the problem. So we got the correct transmission is 0.931. And here also, this is also correct transmission. What is here? We are checking for 0 and 0. Here we are checking for 1 and 1. Okay. So we have received 1 such that uh, transmitted is also 1. Okay. What is the probability here? 0.931. Okay. Here you are transmitting 0 such that you received 0 only. Transmitted 0 such that received 0 only. In that case, what is that probability? You are getting higher probability, means the error is less. Okay, then probability of B1 transmitted 1 such that received 0. When you transmitted 1 such that received 0 is given as 0.143. And probability of B2 given A1. B2 is what? 0, no? A1 is 1. Transmitted 0 such that received 1 will be equal to 0.069. If the probability is very low, means that occurrence of that particular event is very low. Okay, so these two, the error transmissions are very less, whereas the correct transmission is uh, the error in correct transmission is less. Here you see, here the correct transmission values are more compared to the error transmission. So the error is very less when you transmit through this channel. Okay.